Steve, start us off. What are you looking for this week? Who's your pitcher?
So automatic 1-0 to start right here with Sonny Gray going against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's actually really interesting when you look at this slate tonight. I think there's like 4 favorites at a minus 200 money line or above. But then when you look for a DFS option, you're like, well, where are all these big favorites? Because I can't pick one. So Sonny Gray isn't probably the slam dunk option, but amongst the guys that are on this slate tonight, he's probably the best you're going to get. The Pirates are not a team as you usually target against for strikeouts, only a 22.3% K percentage against righties, which is not great. But again, there's not a ton of strikeout upside on this slate. What I do like is the poor numbers across the board, facing right-handed pitching, 290 WOBA, 135 isolated power, and an 81 WRC+. Plus, this is already the second time that Gray is taking on these Pirates. Only allowed 1 run through 4 2/3 innings, has struck out 5, did give up 7 hits, which wasn't great, but I did like the 2.31 FIP he had in that game. So not a lot of options to choose from. Sonny Gray is probably that guy tonight.
Garion, you have a better option?
I mean, can I concede and just save my energy for a different topic?
Just give him the 1-0 start.
Pitcher tonight is a minefield. It is disgusting. And through virtue of getting to pick first, Steve got Sonny Gray. So I'll say, for the sake of argument, Touki Toussaint is kind of an interesting name, like on a dollar for dollar basis. He's just $7,400. Got blown up in his last outing. But if you kind of group together his 3 starts he's made at the major league level this season, it's 17 innings. He's got a 3.02 xFIP. He's got a 28% strikeout rate. And he also has a 52% ground ball rate, which is pretty important because he tends to get hit hard when he's hit, but he negates barrels by keeping the ball on the ground. So I think Toussaint is not nearly the play that Sonny Gray is if you're looking for just like a guy to use in a cash game setting. But Toussaint has some value, and the Cardinals just stopped hitting when the calendar turned to June. They only have an 87 WRC plus against right-handed pitching so far this season. So as an SP2, I think Tuki's in a really nice spot tonight.
Okay, well, since you guys are generally aligned for the first one, Buchs, let's go right back to you here. We need an infielder.
So is Toussaint like your official play there, Garion?
I mean, I have to pick someone not named Sonny Gray, right? So yeah, Toussaint is my official play.
Okay, so first win, check. All right, I just wanted to make note of that real quick. Okay,
now, do you want to? I know it's named after you, but like, do you need to pick first every time? Is that a crutch you need, or can you win without that? It's just something I'm wondering.
I generally pick first because when you have the name on the segment, you get to pick first. Like, you get to make the rules. So the rules are that I get to pick first.
Okay. Gary, he's on the masthead, man. I mean, what are we supposed to do?
Right.
Hey, yes. Just asking questions.
I understand. See, like, Nick was dumb and didn't ask any questions, just went with it, and now he, is using fire to keep warm in his house. Let's talk about Jose Abreu at first base tonight. He's my top infielder. It hasn't been a great second half for Jose Abreu. This is somebody who 18 games through that span, it's only hitting 190. But here's the beauty about Jose Abreu. Even though he's only hitting 190 and has only 12 hits in the second half, 7 of them have gone for extra bases. So at least when he's actually dropping the ball in for a hit, they're usually going for extra bases. He has a 303 isolated power against lefties, and that's beautiful because tonight he's going to be facing Daniel Lynch, who has just been an absolute gas can on the mound, 6.95 ERA with a 4.12 FIP. Doesn't strike out many guys. His command can be lackluster. So I think this is just a great spot for Jose Abreu, who looks like he's kind of sort of maybe getting out of that slump. It's starting to come around. So I'm going to take Jose Abreu in this spot. Don't think the ownership is going to be too crazy high on him tonight because of how lackluster he's been at the plate. But I think Jose Abreu is starting to turn it around, and you can't pass up that power he has against lefties.
Gary, and as you look at infielder, I also want you to have it in the back of your mind. And I know Buchs has already given himself the 1-0 advantage, but you can agree. You guys can agree. So that first one, if you want to be on the same page and just call that a wash, you are allowed to do that.
Where's the fun there? Where's the
I didn't say it's fun. I'm just saying you're allowed to do it.
Yeah, Kaufman, you're never on this show. Like, don't come in here and start calling your shot, okay?
I'm not calling my shot. These are the rules. I consulted with the people in the truck. This is the situation.
For as much as my identity as a human is tied to me winning this segment, I mean, God, guys, I want it so bad. Let's talk about some other players to help people out. If I have to pick an infielder, I feel less bad about this because I took Toussaint, but let's just go with Vladdy, $6,200. He's only $600 more than Jose Abreu. Right-on-right situation tonight against Tristan McKenzie. He has a 198 WRC plus when hitting off of right-handed pitching so far this season. And McKenzie, good strikeout arm, but he doesn't really know where the ball is going. And that tends to leave a lot of grooved pitches. And that's why he's given up 2.76 home runs per 9 to right-handed batters so far this season. If I can take Vladdy, I'm just going to take Vladdy. Got to try to score that point any way I can.
All right, a clear differential there after Buchs petrified of losing the pitcher. So let's go outfielder. Who you got, Steve?
Yeah, we're going to go with Aaron Judge going up against my Seattle Mariners, who are only 2.5 games out of the wild card, by the way. That's obviously not the division, but I think I put them in a great spot when the season began. But they're not in a good spot here tonight. They ended up scooping up Tyler Anderson at the trade deadline after he was supposed to go to the Phillies. I would have rather he'd gone to the Phillies because now he's on my Seattle Mariners, and I'm not happy about that at all because Tyler Anderson sucks, okay? Here's the problem for Tyler Anderson. He's facing one of the best hitting offenses in the league against lefties. One of those guys is Aaron Judge, who all he does is hit lefties. 423 WOBA, 262 isolated power, and a 173 WRC plus. Those numbers essentially stay the same when he's at Yankee Stadium as well. 388 WOBA, 250 isolated power, and a 150 WRC plus. Anderson is struggling with home runs. If you're struggling with home runs, the place you don't want to be pitching is at Yankee Stadium, but that's where he is tonight. So I think there's just not only a lot to like about Judge, but the Yankees as a whole. Anderson is going to be out of this game quickly. And unfortunately, that Mariners bullpen, which is supposed to be their strength, has been struggling over the past week or so too as well. So there's a lot to like about the Yankees. Aaron Judge should be in the middle of that. He should be the anchor of your lineup. 5,300 in the outfield. That's where I'm going for that one.
Garion, would you like to agree or pivot?
I mean, I do agree Aaron Judge is a really good player, but I will pivot. And, Koff, you'll like this. Let's use a classic movie trope here.
Ooh.
Seattle Mariners against him. I'm going to hurt him how it hurts most. Let's go Mick Haniger. $100 less than Aaron Judge. $5,200. Haniger, I mean, if we want to talk splits, Haniger has been better against left-handed pitching all season long. He's got a 150 WRC plus and a 291 isolated power against lefties. He's been better on the road all season. He's got a 152 WRC plus and a 259 isolated power when he's hitting away from Seattle. So it would make sense that in 71 plate appearances this season against left-handed pitching on the road, 201 WRC plus, 1.106 OPS. He's in a smash spot tonight. And Nestor Cortes, I mean, look, golf clap for Nestor Cortes. You've done a really nice job coming out of the bullpen and being effective, but regression is coming at some point for Nestor Cortes. And I could definitely see it happening tonight against the Seattle Mariners in Yankee Stadium. So I like Mitch Haniger a lot.
Guys, it leaves us with value. So Buchs, start us off.
You know, I've come to the conclusion through all my research that Michael Brantley must have hurt somebody at DraftKings. Michael Brantley must have, or someone at DraftKings has a grudge against Michael Brantley because they continuously make him 3,100, 3,300, 3,000. And you know what? I hope that grudge continues because I will continue to play Michael Brantley every single night that he is in this range. For somebody that's hitting second in the Astros batting lineup, he should not be 3,100. Tonight he gets Griffin Jax, who has just been, we're talking about Daniel Lynch being back. Griffin Jax has not done much well at all either. Haven't seen a lot from him. But a 6.17 FIP, 4.35 against lefties, that's not some great numbers to look at. And look, Michael Brantley's been having a phenomenal second half, 428 WOBA, 182 isolated power, and a 181 WRC plus over that span. If there's anything you take away from this, sell job that I'm doing on Brantley, he's hitting second in the Astros lineup. That should be more than enough reason to play him at $3,100 tonight. This is somebody with power, hits a ton of fly balls. No reason he should be this cheap, but you know what? We'll take it.
All right, Gare Bear, I won't bother with the agree nonsense because I know you're going to pivot. So where are you going?
It's only a slight pivot this time because if Michael Brantley has sort of a cousin, maybe he had a co-conspirator the DraftKings algorithm, it was Kyle Tucker, because I don't know why Kyle Tucker is also continuously this cheap, but he's $3,800. The Astros have the highest implied team total on this slate. I really just want to say the name Griffin Jax once. I'm going to say it actually a second time. Griffin Jax. Great name. He's actually struggled more against right-handed batters than he has against left-handed batters. I don't think that really matters. I just think he's bad and overmatched in this matchup. And really, Kyle Tucker has been not just a good hitter. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball since the beginning of May. He has a 400 expected WOBA in that span of time. The other 9 players with a mark over 400 are Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Shohei Ohtani, Fernando Tatis, Ronald Acuna, Max Muncy, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Freddie Freeman. That's the kind of player Kyle Tucker is. And yet, for whatever reason, he's always under $4,000. So keep taking advantage of it. I got no problem with Brantley either, but I think Kyle Tucker might actually be the better hitter.